Okay, so if diets work, why are we still fat? Yikes. Yeah, I think that's a great question. Hi, this is Sharon with Feel Good with Sharon TV, talking to you today about how to stop dieting and lose weight, how to be thin, eating the foods you love, stay thin forever and ever. Amen. So you know the stats. They're pretty bad when it comes to diets, right? Almost everyone who goes on a diet either quits the diet and or gains back the weight with a little extra. So if the quote diet unquote worked, and I'm say diet, I mean all diets, then why are we still fat? Well, obviously it doesn't work. And someone would say, of course it works, Sharon. You just have to stick to it. You lack discipline. You just have to do what you have to do. I love when people who've never been fat give advice. I'm being sarcastic. I actually hate when people who've never been fat give advice. I think you can learn something from someone who's never been fat, but I don't think they address it the right way when they're trying to give you advice on how to lose weight. Because they really don't have any advice on how to lose weight, because they're not fat. They've never been fat and never had to lose weight. So what do they know about losing weight? They may know how to maintain their weight, but they don't know how to lose weight. So when they tell you just go on a diet, or worse, have you thought about surgery? Oh my God. Someone said that to me one time. I thought, really? Am I that fat? And I really need to have surgery? But they were trying to be helpful. And most people are trying to be helpful when they give advice, but know nothing about what they're talking about. So when it comes to diets and losing weight and being thin or slim or skinny or being at your ideal weight, whatever you think that may be, we know the diets don't work. The stats have proven that. It just doesn't work. What does work is changing the person that you are inside. We keep trying to fix problems on the outside with a fake solution, with a diet, with something unnatural. We have to go to the root cause, and the root cause is always inside. It's the default that you keep reverting back to. It's the fat self-image. You have to get rid of it. You have to replace it with a skinny self-image. Thin, slim, fit, whatever word you want to use. When you change from the inside, when you change the root, the problem will transform from the inside out, and it will be permanent change. You will become that naturally slim person. You'll notice that I use the words skinny, thin, slim interchangeably. So don't think I'm like, oh, what is she talking about? One minute she says skinny, one minute she says thin. I like all three words. But you can use the word you like. But know that change begins inside. Permanent change. The only way to change is to change your self-image. Is to change the person you are in your mind. The way you see yourself on your surface mind and in your subconscious mind. That is what is driving you. That is what is causing your metabolic rate, your activity level, the amount of food you're eating, not the type so much. Because there are no special foods out there, okay? There's no magic in the shake. There's no misery in the carb. It's not good carb or bad carb. There are no evil foods. Food is just food, okay? Problem is, we eat too much. I'm so sorry to tell you that. Actually, I'm not so sorry because, hey, you have to acknowledge what's going on. You're overeating. I was overeating. And I was overeating. It was basically a symptom of a fat self-image. Emotional eating, overeating, whatever you want to call it, eating when you're not hungry is a symptom of a fat self-image. The fat you in your mind, surface and subconscious, especially subconscious, is what is driving you. It is dictating. It is causing you to eat in response to anger or boredom or frustration or sadness or happiness or whatever emotion. It is causing you to just overeat when you do eat. The fat self-image is driving you. Once you replace the fat self-image with the skinny self-image, it will drive you the same way, but it will drive you in a way to manifest a skinny body without a diet, and it will be permanent. And it's the answer. It's always the answer. The answer is the default, the root cause, the self-image. And right now, if you're overweight, if you're fat, you have a fat self-image, and that image is driving you. What you want to do is fade it to the background until it fades away, and bring the skinny self-image up and push it to the foreground so that it takes over. And the way you do that is by changing the images in your surface mind, which of course penetrate down to your subconscious mind, and you go on autopilot. And of course, how do you do that? You're saying, change what you see, meaning when you visualize, imagine as you fall asleep, you can program your mind and change what you say, what you talk about, what you say to yourself, what you say to everyone else, what you listen to, the images, the articles, the diet books, the magazines, all of those things are penetrating through your surface mind into your subconscious mind and becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy. They are manifesting from the inside out. All you have to do is change the images, change the words, change what you see and say, what you focus on, what you visualize, what you imagine, what you feel when you're doing it, and you will change the image of yourself. You will fade the fat self-image away, the background, fade away, and the skinny self-image will come to the foreground and take over, and it will increase your metabolic rate. It will improve your digestion and your metabolism and assimilation and elimination, and it will dictate you what you do. It will dictate every part of you so that the image in the mirror will manifest an exact match to the image in your mind, which is a skinny self-image, which is what is happening right now. It's not a mystery. The image you see in the mirror is the image that's in your subconscious mind. That's who you are at the root. Once you change that, it's automatic. It's like autopilot on an airplane. Once the autopilot is set, the plane will get to the destination that the plane is set to arrive at. It doesn't even matter if there's turbulence along the way or any of that. It will arrive at the destination. The same is true for your autopilot. It's set to fat. So every time you go on a diet, and this is why the stats prove it, you lose weight, gain weight, lose weight, gain weight. Some of you never even lose the weight. I never got to my ideal weight on a diet. And you wonder why it's not working. It's because you haven't changed the autopilot, the self-image, the default image. You have to get in there and do the inside work. And by the way, I say work, but it's actually fun because you get to imagine your body the way you want it to be. You visualize that. You feel how great it feels. Oh, it feels so great to be 110 instead of 210. How great does that feel? Why wouldn't you want to think about it? Of course you do. Of course, I'd rather think of myself as slim and healthy and fit than fat and tired and, with cellulite and a big belly. I'd much rather see myself with a flat tummy and, toned and lean. Wouldn't you? Of course you would. So this is fun. I say you have to do the work, but this is fun. I should call it something else like, I don't know, fantasy. Fantasy becomes reality. I'll have to come up with something. But this is something you want. It's just like any other area of your life. Why would you think about everything wrong in your business? Oh my God, the phones aren't ringing. All my clients are gone. I'm not making any money. I'm going to lose my home. Why would you sow that seed into the universe? You know it's going to come back. It's going to be a match because the seed you sow is the harvest you receive. Nature has taught us that. If you sow a seed for apples, what are you going to get? Apples. You cannot sow a seed for apples and get oranges. Will not happen. It's a law of nature. The same is true for your life. You cannot sow a seed, meaning you have a self-image that's enrooted, planted in your subconscious of you as a fat person and expect to go on a diet, lose weight, and stay that way when you haven't changed the self-image, when you haven't changed the root, the default image, when you are set, your autopilot is set to fat. Your thermostat is a fat thermostat. It's like the thermostat in your house. You set it to 70 degrees, 70. You open the door, close the door, it doesn't matter. it's going to come back to 70 degrees. The self-image in your subconscious is fat. You have a fat self-image. You can go on every diet in the world, every day in the world. Well, obviously not every day, but you can go on and off of every diet out there. You're going to come back to fat. And that is what is proven with the stats, with the diet stats. Why they say 95% or more maybe now of dieters gain the weight back and or never lose the weight, quit before they ever get there. Someone would say, well, what about the 5%, Sharon? What about them? Just do what they did. There's always going to be an exception, and there's always someone looking for a reason to, I say to you, if you want to be part of the 5%, go do it. Good for you. I'm happy for you. Bye. See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. I don't want to be in the 5%. I don't want to be in the 95% either. I want to be the person who says, that's it. I'm done with the fake diets, with the unnatural outside influences, with things I know will not change me permanently. And by the way, that 5% struggles to maintain that. It's all unnatural. Well, I won't say the whole 5%, but most of the people who do keep weight off is through some rigorous, extremely disciplined, quote, lifestyle change, unquote. And the truth of the matter is the masses is not going to do it. The masses are not going to be that 5%. They are, I'm in that 95%. Most of you are as well. If you're not, you probably wouldn't even be listening to this. So. But if you want to be in the 5%, I can't help you. You have to talk to the 5% and do what they did. I'm talking to the 95% and those who are in that, and maybe even the 5%, who don't want to live that way, who want to go on autopilot. Life is supposed to be easy and beautiful and abundant. And someone would say, where'd you get that idea? Well, Jesus said, I came to give you life and give it more abundantly. I choose to believe in the good. I choose to look at the positive. I know I'm a little Pollyanna for some of you, but I'd much rather be Pollyanna than be, I don't even know another name, some other word, the negative Nelly or something. I don't want to always look for what's wrong and focus on what's wrong and expect things to go wrong. And, the bad and the hard, and it has to be hard, and you have to struggle, and you have to go upstream, and I don't buy that. And I'm not going to live that way. You can do that if you choose to. And even if you're listening and you don't like this sort of approach, then you can find a different approach. But for me, I want a life that is beautiful and that makes me feel good, and I want to focus on the best, and I want to expect the best out of people. And I know that I have self-empowerment. I have the ability to create my reality. After all, we're created in the image of God, and He created heaven and earth and everything else, all the universes. So that's my belief. I believe that. I know that I am a co-creator with God. I know I can change my reality, my physical body, my finances, my life, simply by changing my focus, my inner world, my default image, by changing my inside to create what I want on the outside. Even if you don't believe in God, you can listen to some of the other teachers of the world, Buddha, as within, so without, or is that a Chinese proverb or something like that? Emerson, man is what he thinks about all day long. And of course, in the Bible and Proverbs, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. If you think life is hard, it's going to be. If you think you're fat and you cannot lose weight, you won't. If you think you can eat the foods you love, be thin and stay thin forever and ever, amen, you will. You have to believe in something. Why not believe in something you want? Why would I believe in something I don't want? Why focus on things I don't want? Why treat myself like a prisoner being punished by having to go on a diet that someone else says is right for me, that the stats have already proven will not last, does not work, and it's a waste of my time, and it's frustration, and it's aggravation, and it stresses me out, and it makes my life miserable. Why would I do that? Why? I should have asked myself this question years ago, right? Like 20 years ago. All I know is this works for me. And it doesn't just work for me now. It worked for me before I ever started dieting. Before I ever heard of the word diet, I didn't have a weight problem. Isn't that weird? Look back at your life. Are you fatter today than you were before you went on your first diet? If you are, that's a clue. Give up the diets. It isn't working for you. I was fatter the day I gave up dieting, 20 plus years into it, than I was before I ever went on a diet. Now that's crazy. So I spent all those years losing and gaining the same weight over and over again, trying to fit into a system that is unnatural. Kind of like, getting a pedicure. When you get a pedicure and they want to shave your feet, ladies, with the razor, and before you can get home, it's already growing back. It's against nature. It's unnatural. Soak your feet, let them maybe use the stone a little bit, but don't shave your feet. Oh my gosh, it's so unnatural. Nature fights back. It's a rebound. Same is true for a diet. Your body fights back. It's a rebound. It's unnatural. You have to fix the problem at the root if it's ever going to be fixed. When you change yourself inside, your self-image, your default image, when you change it from fat to skinny, you will go on autopilot and you will automatically lose the weight without a diet. It doesn't matter about emotional eating or scars from your past or what's happened to you. We like to use all these symptoms and create all these other problems that are not really the issue. The issue is the way you see yourself. You have to change that self-image. You have to get into the subconscious through the surface mind by changing what you see and say and focus on. That includes the articles you read, those ones in the grocery store and Walmart, they're at the front with all the diet of the week. You have to get away from that. It's temporary at best. A diet is temporary at best, meaning you may lose a little weight. That's the best part. But guess what? You're going to gain it back. And that, the regain, along with the mental nightmare that's in your head, makes dieting hell at worst. So temporary at best, hell at worst. Because you just know what's coming. You've done it 1 time, 10 times, 100 times, a year, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. At some point, you just have to say, wait a minute. This isn't working. This is ridiculous. Now, this really is ridiculous. Okay? So before you fall into that trap again of starting another diet, think about what has happened. And I know you can say, oh, well, your past doesn't equal your future. True. That's true. But if you want to continue that kind of unnatural life of living diet consciousness, this isn't for you. And that's okay. It's not for you. I don't want to live that life. I don't want to live a life based on the outside unnatural rules of someone else telling me and my body what is required and going upstream all the time, fighting to maintain or adhere to something that is not natural because I'm fighting against the root of who I am at my subconscious level. If you are going to diet, what I would say is change your self-image to someone who is a dieter. That way you can stick to the diet. I personally am not interested. But if you wanted to do that, that would be the only way to assure that you would, or to make sure that you're going to stick to it. You have to change the subconscious. You have to change yourself at a subconscious level. You have to change your default image into a skinny person naturally who eats whatever they want, or a skinny person who sticks to a diet, or a fitness person, or a super successful person, or whatever it is. It has to be changed at a level beneath the surface mind, and that is the subconscious mind. And that's when life becomes easy. That's when life becomes natural, and it flows, and it's effortless, and it's fluid. And that's the way it's meant to be. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. you have to, well, you don't have to, but if you want your life to be easier, if you want things to flow, and you don't have to say, go with the flow. You just have to, if you want to go with the flow, get inside and change yourself at a subconscious level. And remember, this is fun. This is what you want. This makes you feel good. It's fantasy. What did I say? Fantasy becomes reality? Yes, I'm going to start calling it that. Fantasy becomes reality. Fantasy becomes reality. FBR. Okay, so, yes, go in and take 5, visualize. You know, that's my line, take 5 to visualize. Take 5 seconds, 5 minutes, and fantasize. Imagine your life the way you want it to be, as though it already is. Act as though it is for those 5 seconds, for those 5 minutes. Be the naturally skinny you in your mind. Imagine yourself that way. See yourself at your goal weight in the size 2 spandex catsuit or whatever clothes you want to wear. Weighing 110 or 120 or whatever weight you want to weigh. That's how you see yourself. Feel how great that feels. You're active and you're able to run up and down the stairs in high heels, and you're fit and you're slim, and whatever word you're choosing. That's how you want to see yourself in your mind. In your surface mind, it's going to seep down into your subconscious. It will become the part of you that is currently fat, will fade away. The skinny, slim, healthy, fit you will come to the foreground. You will go on autopilot, and you will automatically, every time, manifest in the mirror the self-image that you've been holding in your subconscious mind. It's going to come out. It works every time. You're living it right now in every area of your life. So why am I going on a diet? I'm not. I'm done with diets. Hallelujah. I'm so thrilled. That makes me happy. And by the way, don't be surprised when you make the decision to stop dieting, to give yourself the permission to eat whatever you want, knowing that you will be slim, stay slim forever and ever. Amen. Don't be surprised if you don't want anything. A lot of times we think, if I tell myself I can eat whatever I want, I'm going to eat everything. But it's just the opposite. You don't want to eat anything. The urgency to eat goes away. I don't have to eat it right now because I can eat it anytime, every day. So I don't have to eat it right now. It automatically takes away the urgency eating. It shuts down the Last Supper syndrome. All of that goes away. And you just automatically will eat in a response to physical hunger, just like you do when you drink water. You have no water diet, right? There's nothing telling you unnaturally, drink this water at 2 a.m., drink this water at 4 a.m., drink this water at 6 p.m., drink 2 glasses at 12 noon. Well, if you are, then you need to give that up too. But there's nothing you're doing that's telling you that. You automatically just drink water. Some people will say, oh, but you have to drink 8 glasses or have your body weight and all that. Again, unnatural, unnecessary. I'm not doing it. You know when your body needs water. Same thing when you need to eliminate. You go to the bathroom if you have to, and you don't just go in the bathroom and I'm just going to hang out here. It told me, the bathroom diet says go to the bathroom at 10 p.m., 2 p.m., 10 a.m. No, you don't do that. Who does that? Who does that? No one. So why are you following a diet that says eat this at 2 p.m., eat this at 9 a.m., eat this at 6 p.m.? Why are you doing that? Eating, drinking, eliminating, they're all natural. Your body's very smart. Surprise? It is. It's extremely smart. It knows exactly what to do with the food you give it when you take all the restrictions off the food, when you stop labeling food as good or bad, when you stop telling yourself, I can't eat this food because it'll make me fat, I can't eat that food, or I must drink this shake, or take this pill, or this potion, or eat this prepackaged meal, and that's the only way I can lose weight. When you take those restrictions off of yourself and stop feeding yourself that story, which gets down into your subconscious and becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. It changes who you are naturally into this unnatural thin person or this fat person who can't lose weight. At a subconscious level, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You go on autopilot and you do all the things necessary to manifest in the mirror the fat self-image or the unnatural skinny you in your mind. That's what shows up in reality in the mirror every time. You're taking back your power now. You're just saying, okay, enough of that. You're drawing a line in the sand. And you are taking the power that God has given you and you are using it the natural right way to be naturally slim without dieting and get out of that 95% stat and maybe even out of the 5%. And you are becoming the person that you were always meant to be. It's a beautiful process. It's beautiful. It's easy. It's effortless. It's natural. And it's priceless. So why go on a diet? Oh, please don't. Please don't. It's time to stop dieting and manifest the naturally slim you that you are already. You just have to bring that self-image up to the foreground, fade the fat self-image into the background until it fades away, and the naturally skinny, slim, fit, toned, thin, healthy you will take over, and that's the person you will manifest into reality, the one that's in your subconscious mind. It will manifest, just like any seed you sow, manifest over time. Remember, you cannot sow a seed for apples and get oranges. If you sow a seed for apples, you will get apples. If you have a fat self-image, doesn't matter how many diets you go on, you will come back to being fat. If you have a skinny self-image, it doesn't matter what you eat, you will become a skinny person naturally without dieting. So this is a great day. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this episode. Tune in again for another show and on how we can stop dieting and be the naturally slim, beautiful person we are, to be thin and stay thin forever and ever. Amen.